Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hair pulled low and blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I break, when I bang through the lane. 4D on my skin, when I lose, when I win, I'm alive in the light of the game I'm in. 4D, 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 it's different. Yeah, that's winning.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Horizon IndyCar Series live on P1. It's Murph, it's the Wreck, and brother, we've got a ton of fun for you tonight. 68 laps of IndyCar action from the Portland International Raceway. And Ryan, this track's been around forever. It's been on the schedule for a long time, and it always produces a pretty good show.
Yeah, it's not a long lap around Portland, but there are a couple of defined places where you can get a pass if you're close enough, and that always ensures that you get to see exciting racing around here.
Yeah, most certainly so. This track originally built 1960, opened 1961, and it was a hub of the West Coast racing scene for a good long time. The original races in Portland took place on the streets of Portland during the Rose Festival. The track, of course, opened in 1961. It then hosted Trans Am, and then beginning in 1984, the Indy cars started coming, and really, they have not stopped coming since. This race is a staple. I always remember it as the G.I. Joe's Portland 200 is what I remember it as, but it is most certainly a staple. It was renovated in 2007, 2008. The chicane on the front straightaway was reprofiled and redone in the hopes, Ryan, of not having so many wild shenanigans there. It didn't work, did it?
No, it feels like it could flip a coin any other year. We're gonna get a caution in turn one.
Most certainly. So we're gonna jump on board. Let's get we're gonna get Hunter Ingrave. We're gonna pull him out. Hunter Ingrave is a fast man here on these road course circuits. You're riding in his left eyeball as he navigates around Portland. This right here is turns 4, 4A, and 5. The quick blast through 6, down the backstretch. That's the kink at 8, through turn 9, and watch this. He is going to get down to turn number 10 here. There's a little quick chicane, 170 miles an hour, get in there, back, left, right, and then stand on the brakes, Ryan.
See where it puts him on the leaderboard. 11th.
Yeah, Hunter Ingrave, and there he goes, and he loses it, locks up the rear brakes going into turn 1. Hunter Ingrave will waste that lap, and that's going to get the good gone off of his alternate tires. How about Alex Miller? He's going to come down the backstretch. Here he is. We're going to jump up on the roll bar for Alex Miller. Down the back straightaway through that turn 8 and 9 complex, and just watch how quick this goes. 170 miles an hour, slow down, slam on the brakes, and you almost get on that access road to make this turn 12 as wide as possible, Ryan.
Yeah, you need every inch of pavement you can get, even though it can be a bit risky to go that far out.
It can. Now there's Alex Miller. He goes to the pole, 59.317. It is worth mentioning, Ryan, that the track record here is held by, here's a name for you, Carlos Munoz, 2018, 58.740. So we're about half a second off in the sim. Of course, if I remember correctly, that was set with the Wild Aero Kit cars, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So they had a ton of extra downforce. This track is known to produce some pretty cool racing. There are two distinct passing zones. One of those is into that chicane at turn 1. The other, if you can make the move through turns 4, 4A, and 5, those are the festival curves. If you can make it stick through there, you might have a shot. You can see some nice over-under action. And also, you're going to see people be brave and try to slingshot out past people, getting on that hybrid, getting on the push to pass, down turn 8, 9, down the backstretch, and into 10, 11, and 12. There's going to be somebody that tries to pull out and make that move, Ryan.
Without a doubt. And hopefully they get clear before the turn.
Yeah, because if you don't get clear, my man, you are going for a ride. Here's Alex Miller. He's coming through again. We're going to watch it from outside the car this time. And here's Alex. He's going down the front straightaway into turn 1, hard on the brakes. You see him cut that corner right there. They go over the curbs, and Ryan, that almost makes the car want to launch, and Miller loses it. Cold tires, around he goes. How about Nate Fields? Here he is. He's slowing down to a stop. Brandon Staton is on the back straightaway. Here's Brandon in his qualifying lap. Round turn 12 he goes. The lap for Brandon Staton, 1 minute 991. He improved his time, but not necessarily his position, Ryan. Still 14th on the board.
Yeah, not what he was hoping for, but he still has a shot to improve.
Yeah, and that's the thing with time qualifying here, my man Ryan. You can take unlimited shots at it. It's it's a 1 minute lap. Why the heck not, right?
Exactly.
And you've probably got a couple of laps on the red alternate tires here. From my recollection, the alternate tires are the preferred tire at this facility. It's such a short lap, and there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of high load corners that are gonna destroy him. So you're gonna see guys prefer that red alternate tire when they want to go fast. Here's Brandon Staton, crosses the line. Did a 774 that time. That's going to bump him up to 11. So he picks up 3 spots with that effort, Ryan. But we've still got 2 minutes to go qualifying here.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go. Like, ideally, you have time left for 2 more laps.
Ideally, you would. Shane Coker chimes in the chat. He's the race controller. He bought the track 20 minutes ago, Ryan. He paid to race control tonight. How about that?
Don't see that every day.
No, you don't. And so, for most of us broadcasters, I know Jacob Collins is in the 100% club. If Gary Godso isn't, he's pretty close. I'm also pretty close. I haven't bought a track in a very long time, just because I own pretty much all the tracks. The cars are what I don't have, right? Because I only race Indy cars, and I've got a couple of sports cars and stock cars and stuff. But it is interesting that this is a track we only come to once a year in the IndyCar Open Series. It, of course, is raced in IIS, the IndyCar iRacing Series, and leagues come to it very seldom. And so this is not a track that a lot of these guys may even own, and it's probably not one, Ryan, that many of them are all that familiar with. I think I've only ever raced here once in the Velocity Online Racing Series, and I don't think I came back.
Wow. Like, not only have I raced here, I've been to the track in person multiple times.
So we're going to be leaning heavily on the experience of the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Eric King. As we get through this broadcast, we do want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining in. Hit us up in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. We'll try to keep up with that. Make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that we can tell you about all of our high-quality iRacing broadcasts. But we are just about getting ready to set to go, Ryan, and we're going to have a grid here in just a couple of moments. On the pole, Hunter Ingrav, the time 58.966. To his outside, he's the only car in that 58-second bracket, and he's the only one that came close to Carlos Munoz's track record. Alex Miller will go alongside in from P2. Micah Mixer, Ricky Paz, they're going to occupy row 2. Kyle Clinworth, Chris Albrecht, a couple of oval favorites. Clindy, of course, Oval Series, fixed Oval Series champion. Chris Albrecht, former pole winner at the Elite Racing League Indy 500. They're going to roll from 5th and 6th. Lith Fox, 7th. Craig Forsyth, 8th. Brandon Domingue, 9th. And Matt Carroll rounds out your top 10. In 11th, Brandon Staten, Nate Fields, 12th. Gary Lobern, 13th. Luca Tedesco, Matt Wagner, 14th and 15th. And Hugo Galez in 16th. Andrew Surwack, William Holman, and Joseph Morales will round out the field. Morales does not take time. And Shane Coker is race control. He will not be racing this evening. So that's your grid, Ryan.
Yeah, and I'm noticing, looking at the times, we've got 5 guys under a minute, and you know, the 4 behind them, well, 5 behind them, not far off.
No, they're not. The top 10 in this field is all pretty doggone close, if you want my opinion of it. The thing about it is, there are 2 things about this track that I took away from my time here. The first is that the field is going to be pretty close just because there are not a whole lot of corners, and the draft here can be big. It can be just as big here as it is Watkins Glen because you've got those 2 humongous straightaways. Of course, the front straightaway doubles as a drag strip, and the backstretch is really just as long. It's got a couple of kinks in it, but the backside here is pretty long too, Ryan.
Yeah, and all the corners might not be in the same direction, but this very much drives like an oval.
Yeah, it's one that's, you know, pretty darn accessible. It's one that's pretty darn accessible for most non-road racers, and I certainly put myself in that category, Ryan. It's one that is fairly accessible for them, fairly accessible for us as non-road racers, just because it's not as technical. There's really only one technical part of this course, and that's that 4A, 5, 6, 7 complex there. I don't count the chicane as technical because that's just stand on the brakes and try not to hurt yourself. But really, there's only that one. There's really only that one technical set of corners, and so there's not a whole lot of area for a road racing novice here to lose time.
Yeah, as long as you stick to the fundamentals, you'll be able to stay close.
You can, and then you've got push to pass. You've got the hybrid option. To try to keep latched on to the car in front. I'm just interested to see what's going to happen the first time they get to that chicane down there, Ryan, in turn number 1.
Yeah, I'm both interested and afraid because, you know, if there's an opportunity, someone would be willing to take it, no matter how small that opportunity may be.
Yeah, and that's always the best time to make up spots in a race like this is on a start or a restart. We're not going to have a yellow flag here. This will be over in 69 minutes. We're not going to have a yellow flag, so you're not going to have the opportunity to make a restart. It's all going to you're going to have to make the magic happen if you want to gain spots in wholesale fashion. You're going to have to do it going down into turn 1, and it narrows up down there just like a funnel. Bearcat John, he's with us, Ryan. He says it could be a bloodbath at turn 1. It's going to be interesting, for sure. Just to kind of put a finer point on put a finer point on the strategy here. 25 to 30 laps is the pit window, so it's going to be a 2-stopper and a splash.
Green, green, green.
They're headed down to turn 1, Ryan. Hunter Ingrab gets away.
Clear.
Hunter Ingrab gets away. That is Alex Miller and Micah Mixer. They're fighting over second. Did everybody make it? They all got through. So good work by the field. Everybody gets through turn number 1 unscathed. They head down for the festival curves out through 4A, 5, and 6. Everybody single file. Nobody's taken a spin yet, Ryan.
You nearly jinxed us there.
I am furiously knocking on the hardwood floors in my living room, trying not to jinx them, but it seems as though everybody has gotten away and gotten away clean. Well, I spoke too soon. William Holman is 6 seconds off the pace, and we're going to see if we can't find what's happened to William Holman here. He's riding along, and I believe he is behind. He's behind one of the Votive Racing League entries. It's the light blue car. 57, that would be Hugo Galez. Oh, Gary Lovern spins in front of Galez, and that's what caused the checkup. Here's Gary Lovern. So Lovern actually now has the meatball. He must respect that, but that's what's checked up Holman, Carroll, and Galez. Gary Lovern is going to have to get to the pit lane. He is there, and it appears as though Ryan he just spun it on the cold primary tires here, getting into I believe turn 7. Gets up on the curb and around he goes.
Yeah, it's certainly not the way you want to begin your race. Speaking of beginnings, we have a fight for the lead. Seemingly, the top 3 is split off from the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking with Matt Wagner early. I was talking with Matty Wags earlier before the race, and he had said that he fully anticipated that the top 3 here would be able to pretty much break away from the field. Ungrav, Miller, and Mixer, the 3 of them would be able to get away, and that doesn't surprise me, Ryan, that it's these 3 of the field. And again, this is primary and oval racing series, right? These are the 3 most accomplished road racers. We see Hunter Ingrav, Alex Miller, and Micah Mixer in the top split Indy Open races, which primarily are on road courses. All 3 of them showed very well in the Indy Pro Series qualifiers. All 3 of them just missed it, but these are 3 accomplished road racers. And then you've got Ricky Paz. Ricky is in 4th. He's kind of on an island there. Kyle Clinworth, Chris Albrecht, they're kind of leading the train. That's Clindy, Albrecht, Lith Fox, and then Craig Forsyth. And then a little bit behind them, the highlighter yellow car, Brandon Domingue and Brandon Staten. We'll round out your top 10, but we're going to stay with the battle for the lead because it's a good one. Alex Miller is at a disadvantage. Well, he's at an advantage right now, but how long is that advantage going to last? Miller and Mixer want to get by Hunter Ingrav. They're on the alternate tires, Ryan. Ingrav is on the primaries. Theoretically, there should be a grip advantage behind him, but so far, Miller and Mixer, the Killer M's, have not been able to move past the road racing entry of Hunter Ingrav.
Oh, and you can tell just from all 3 entries how comfortable they are going around this course, especially just through turn 1, where they use all the track. They go from the concrete on the outside to the Armco barrier inside the curbs in turn 1.
Yeah, they go completely over. The curbs, and they're building an advantage over Ricky Paz at something like a 1.5 seconds a lap. Last lap through, Alex Miller, minute .461, and he is going to go through and make the move on Hunter Ingrav through turns 1 and 2. And Micah Mixer will also go through, so we'll see if that comes back around. Typically, when it's a tire differential situation, Ryan, it comes back around to you. So we'll see how that works out for Miller and Mixer. But just kind of watch, if you're a fan at home, watch what Ryan's talking about, the lines from Alex Miller, Micah Mixer, Hunter Ingrav, and just how confidently they move through this course. And then we're going to go back and get in the battle with Clindy, Kyle Clinworth, Chris Albrecht, Lith Fox, because they are at it just as hard as these guys are. Watch them go through turn 1, Ryan.
Because you want to hang out by that concrete wall on the outside just so you could get the right angle for turn one.
See how all three of those cars are inside the curb?
Yeah, you have to pretty much launch your car off the curb towards the Armco barrier.
You do. Now, Clindy had his car completely inside. Chris Albrecht did not. Right? He took a much less aggressive line through there. This is another one of those primary tires against alternate situations. Clinworth is on the black primary tires. Albrecht and Lith Fox, they're on the alternates. They want to get clear of Clindy and get gone because they should theoretically be quite a bit quicker in the alternate tire situation.
Yeah.
It's also interesting to note, Ryan, that the primes were the choice. Only Miller, Mixer, by goes Lith Fox. He's had enough of that. But there were only five of the 18 that went off on the alternate tires. Miller and Mixer, we noted. Lith Fox and Chris Albrecht, and then Brandon Staten was the other alternate runner. Everybody else opted for the primaries,
which could become a factor if once we get into the pit cycle, because should all things equal, if you're on the option tire, you'll come in before the prime runners. And if you're ahead of them on track, you might rejoin the race with them in traffic.
Well, and here's the other thing, right? When you put on those primary tires, they take a couple of laps to really come up to temperature. And so when you're going out on those cold primes, you're going to be at risk from the guys that are on the hot tires. Lith Fox looking all over Kyle Clinworth, can't quite get it done going into turn 10. But Lith Fox, and I would anticipate we're going to see a move here from Lith Fox going down the front straightaway. We'll jump on board with him. Is he going to be close enough? He's not on the button, Ryan. It looks like he's just going to follow him here for one more lap. Maybe try to do something through the 4, 5, 6 complex of the festival curves, maybe. Use the extra grip.
I think you might be right here. Go for the inside.
And there through goes Keir from the car of Chris Albrecht, and so he's not done defending. And look, if you're on the prime tire, Ryan, if you're on the blacks, you want to try to stay in touch as long as you can with the guys that are on the alternates. If you can stay within the draft window of the guys that you're battling around, and they're on the option tire and you haven't run it yet, that's huge advantage to you later on in the running.
Yeah, because it's an advantage that the other has to overcome.
Right. So, theoretically, if Clindy is able to stay here, there's going to be a run where the differential is the other way, and it's going to be in his favor late when it comes time to get the checkered flag. And Clinworth, to me, is doing a fantastic job. He's somebody noted as very much an oval-centric guy like myself, Ryan. He's hanging out here in 6th spot. That's not bad for a guy that primarily races on ovals.
Oh, not bad at all.
And Clinworth, I can vouch for this. Kyle Clinworth has done a ton of work in the last 6 months or so, really working hard, trying to improve his road racing game, and you're seeing some of that right here. He's running along in 6th, and he's running ahead of Craig Forsyth, and Craig Forsyth is known to be a pretty doggone good road racer. I mean, he's known to be pretty tough everywhere, Ryan. Let's not mistake that. Lith Fox spins the tires up coming out of the chicane. Kyle Clinworth going to have a look here going through the festival curves. Is it? Do you think now we've got a situation, Ryan, where those alternate tires might be starting to come back to the prime runners?
Yeah, especially for sliding around like that.
The gap at the front, and it's worth mentioning, Hunter Ingrave has fallen about a second, 1.2 seconds to be exact, behind Miller and Mixer, and he was about 0.2 off the lead the last time through. This time, Alex Miller 1 minute 666. Hunter Ingrav, minute 1:0:33. So he's about 3/10 off a lap from Miller and Mixer. But we're going to keep an eye on those lap times, Ryan, because if it's a 25 to 30 lap run, those alternates are going to have to come back, you would think, to the primes eventually.
Yeah, eventually, especially if they're running a long stint.
Most certainly so. So we had some big news out of the IndyCar world the last couple of weeks. We got a Grand Prix. It's going to take place on the National Mall. You going to go down there for that, Ryan? Get on the train and head down to DC?
I don't know yet. We got to be. I'd say the timeline's pretty exciting in building an entire.
So they had said that the track is pretty much, they've already pretty much got it done. The apparently that race had been in planning for something like 6 months before they announced it. So it was a very well kept.
So,
it's a pretty well kept secret. I'm sure they've got the layout either done or close to it. It's going to be a Cotman track. I'm just interested to see how they pull it off, because there's no advertising allowed on the National Mall, and you can't sell tickets. Everything has to be free, right? It's just like going to the Smithsonian. So it'll be interesting to see how they set it up so people can actually watch this thing. Whoa! That is...
Yeah, that...
Go ahead.
That was the issue in the first place, where they did evaluate this for the season. They decided against it and released the season schedule, and no one thought this was going to happen. And now this is happening under the legal framework that if it's under an executive order, you don't need congressional approval for advertising, even though that...
Micah Mixer's around. Micah Mixer has gone around at turn number 4A. Micah Mixer loops the car from second place. That's going to hand second back to Hunter Ingrav. And let's get a look at what happened to Micah Mixer. He gets in there too hot and just loops the car. That's turn... that's not turn... I called it 4A. That was actually... that actually appeared to be turn number 7. He got in there to the right, Ryan, locked the rear tires up, and around went Micah Mixer. And so demote Micah Mixer from second to third. That's going to promote Ingrav back into second spot. And the lap time between Ingrav and Miller that last time through, it was pretty darn close. 101.016 to 101.122. So the tire differential may be about even here. We're going to get back to this battle. Lith Fox, Kyle Clinworth, and Chris Albrecht have now caught Ricky Paz for the 4 spot. Paz had been out there kind of on his own, and that group has caught him. So we'll keep an eye on it here. Continue with your thought, Ryan. It's happening under the legal framework of an executive order, which means what?
The White House believes that they don't need congressional approval. It's above my pay grade. If the race is happening, it's happening.
It doesn't seem like there's much congressional opposition to it. At least it hasn't been voiced. I think they're much more interested in other fish to fry. And DC, look, I mean, DC is a place that's known to have these big events, right? We have the inaugural parade every year. We're watching this group file around. I believe that's Matthew Carroll there off to the side. But this battle for fourth is getting ready to heat up. I'm just interested to see what the track looks like. There's going to be some pretty incredible. It's going to be some pretty incredible views and sights if it happens. I can't decide whether or not I want to drive out there and go see it. For me, it's about a 13, 14 hour drive. So we'll see.
Yeah, I wonder how IndyCar is going to handle it in terms of crowd control, because the idea of this event, like in the order and in all the advertising, this event will be free of charge. You will not have to pay to attend.
No, you don't. You're not.
Meaning,
I mean, I'm sure they're going to.
how many people are going to show up to this?
Well, my guess is. I mean, my guess is it'll draw pretty well, and I'm sure they'll set up the paddock. You know, they've got the facilities to set up the paddock. You know, like they do for a street race where they just work out of their trailers, right? It's not. These teams are not unfamiliar with that sort of a setup, and I'm sure they'll be able to secure that. I'm sure they'll be able to secure that bit of it. But you're right. There's no billboards. There's no admission.
Yeah, I think. About the promoter who, like, they've pretty much announced that Monumental Sports, the ownership group of the Wizards and the Capitals, that they'll be running hospitality and other things around the track. What's going to be like for them trying to organize crowd control for this around the circuit?
Well, there's that, and I kind of think this tends to be more of a springboard. They're gonna do this. We're never gonna have another race on the National Mall again, right? It's never. Don't say never, but it's not gonna. Certainly under the framework that it is now, this is a one shot and done. My thought is they're gonna do this, and they're bringing Monumental in to promote a race in that area into the future. So we've been to Baltimore.
I think 100%. If we do this again, it will be at a different circuit around the new RFK stadium that they're building.
Yes, which is where probably the race would have been if RFK wasn't under reconstruction. If the fans would recall, the former home of the Washington Senators / Washington Redskins / Washington Nationals / DC United was imploded. And they're rebuilding that because the Redskins are going to move back to the district. There is a history of racing there. The ALMS, so the forerunner to modern IMSA, they ran a Grand Prix in the parking lot of RFK for several years and the surrounding streets. And so that's where the racing history in DC is. And I bet you're right. By the time that stadium's done, they could very well have a circuit in the parking lot.
Yeah, and that area of the city still has a metro station. It's more developed than it used to be. It'd be ideal to keep a race in the DC area.
I've ridden that metro station. The last time I was in, one of my very close fraternity brothers lived with Todd for a couple of years in the house, but he lives in DC now, and I've been to that metro station. It stopped right outside RFK. It was perfectly convenient, and then we decided that we were going to walk from RFK to Capitol Hill to enjoy a refreshment after a baseball game. That's a hike. It was like 21 blocks, I think, Ryan.
Yeah, it's about that distance to the Capitol.
Yeah, we didn't want to wait in line for the train, so we walked. We should have taken the train, brother. It is worth noting that
faster.
Yeah, it is worth noting the tire differential has flipped. Hunter Ingrave is now all over the gearbox of Alex Miller as we near lap 20 of this run. There's thought that these guys are going to be able to do this in one stop. It's going to be at least a two-stopper. Here, and Hunter Ingrave is now all over the backside of Alex Miller. He is there, and we're going to have a pass for the lead here, Ryan, within the next few laps.
Yeah, I'm going to see how close he closes this gap through this first section here.
Absolutely. So here he goes. Hunter Ingrave. This is where the grip advantage tells. It's through this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 series of turns. This is where the differential in grip from reds to blacks and which tires are preferred really shows up. Watch Hunter Ingrave close through turn 7 here. He's right there, Ryan. It's not going to be much longer. The other thing is Hunter Ingrave has not yet touched his push to pass. Now, Alex Miller hasn't been using all that much, but Hunter Ingrave still has all 200 seconds. Alex Miller at 184. There haven't really been a lot of drivers leaning on that button thus far. Ricky Paz at 166, and he's on it now as the low man. Clindy just dipped below 100 seconds, so we'll keep an eye on Clintworth to see how much longer his push to pass holds out, Ryan. So the other question I have for you is Ryan, have you gotten your Topes soaps yet?
Oh, I really should place an order. I really should.
You got to go get. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, that my wife enjoys more right now than the fact that when she goes to the bathroom and goes to wash her hands, she's got Padua Awards staring her in the face. Brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant. So if you haven't already done it, go have a look at Taupe Soaps, and there is a promo code for that. But you get a buy one get one deal. That's VH Cars Company. Taupe Soaps. If you use the code Horizon, you get one, buy one, you get one, you buy one, you get one free. We've got the pink and the yellow at our house, Ryan, and it's a blast, man. You should. Every guy needs to have one of those in their bathroom for sure. Every race fan, at least. Got a note from Commander-in-Chief here. Is that Gary Godso? I believe that's Godso's YouTube handle, isn't it, Ryan?
Believe so.
So we've got the boss man looking in on us. We've got dueling streams here tonight, I believe. They should, if I'm be getting ready to go off on the sister stream with the Miami GP, the Formula Super Series. I believe that's Jacob Collins over doing that show over on that side. That's the FIS is doing a Super Formula Series for their winter deal, and they're down in Miami. It's a little bit warmer for those cars than it is here at Portland. We did not update the fans on the weather. Right now, 67 in the air, 85 on the track. I don't think you could order a better day for an IndyCar race than that, could you?
Oh, it's picture perfect. It's definitely way better for us than that boys down at Bowman Gray playing in the sleet right now.
Is it? Did that thing actually go off, or is it?
Oh, it is. They are 3/4 of the way through. There have been multiple red flags just due to just shenanigans.
You know, that's another one that I would expound on, my man. They need to just put that thing back at Daytona. Run the 20 lapper, run 10 laps, throw a red, invert it, run 10 more, and call it a day. A couple of weeks before the 500.
I really learned this week that our friends over in North Carolina have not really dealt with snow for much of their lives. They thought a smart solution to snow removal was just simply, what if we just pack the snow behind the barrier and just hope for the best?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's only so much you can do, right? If it's cold and it's snowing, it's gonna stick, and there's not really much you can do about it. Short of walking around the track with a flamethrower, there's not really any way to keep the pavement dry. Chris Albrecht has made his first pit stop. Gary Lover, Nate Fields, Hugo Gallas have all also been in for service, and Albrecht spins.
Oh, yeah, definitely caught me off guard seeing it around like that.
Yeah, and look, that's Ryan. That's a function of cold tires, and he did it right in front of the leaders. He came out of turn 2, lit them up. That's got to be a moment for them. Alex Miller and Hunter Ingrab dodged disaster there, Ryan.
Yeah, that could have been a race-altering collision, to say the least.
It could have been, but they did miss it, and they keep right on chugging. And we are now in the first of the two pit windows. Gary Lovren is going to pull over, and he is going to let the two leaders go through. Ingrav, I'm surprised, has not tried to make a move, or has not yet made a move on Alex Miller. I thought he would have tried to get in front of Miller and maybe use the dirty air to chew through. Maybe use the dirty air to kind of chew through Alex Miller's remaining grip on those alternate tires, but he hasn't done so, Ryan.
Seemingly Miller's the thing. You know, where there is no large enough delta for him to get overtaken.
No, they haven't, and we're having a bit of a connectivity issue with, I think, with Ryan's Discord there. He's got the robot voice, but Hunter Ingrav continues to stalk. This, by the way, Ryan, is the best battle on the track for certain sure. There is nobody else within half a second of another car. Clindy is right at that. He's a half second behind Lith Fox, but nothing nearly as close as this one. And this happens to be the battle for the lead. Do also want to point out Micah Mixer has been to the pit lane. He has exchanged his red alternate tires for the primary blacks, and so Micah Mixer has made his stop. That promotes Ricky Paz to third place, and Paz, he's 18 seconds behind the lead here, but he is also about 3 seconds clear of Lith Fox now. Lith Fox had closed that gap. Down to a handful of car lengths. Ricky Paz has slowly driven away. I think the good is gone off of the red alternate tires for Lith Fox, and they look like one car coming down the front straightaway now. Hunter Ingrav, well, it is because it is one car. Alex Miller has come into the pit lane. That's going to hand the lead to Hunter Ingrav, lap 28 of 68. So Alex Miller, Blinky, is going to go to which tires? Into his
up on the jacks. Not primes.
Yeah, he's going to put the primes on. So this is going to be the question now for Ingrav. Does he stretch this as long as possible, dip in and grab himself a set of another set of primaries, or is Hunter Ingrav going to come get is he going to come get another set of or is he going to come get a set of the alternates? He's going to have to make that decision within the next couple of laps, I would think.
Yeah, he's going to have to come in soon.
Yeah, so Ingrav, I guess we now know what he was doing as he pulls around Craig Forsyth. And that was, I believe, Luca Tedesco. Was it? Watch this. Luca Tedesco is coming out with Craig Forsyth. Watch this, Ryan. And it's right around the leader. Clindy straight lines the chicane. Tedesco gets up on the... That's not Luca. That's the 47. That's Lith Fox. So Lith spun it coming through the chicane on cold blacks. Clindy takes evasive action. That could have nearly been disaster, and that's twice that Hunter Ingrav has seen his life flash before his eyes. He's now going to go put a lap on Ricky Paz here. So that leaves just Ingrav, Miller, Mixer on the lead lap temporarily, Ryan. But Hunter Ingrav has done 30 laps here. Now we know what he was doing sitting behind that crew. He was saving fuel.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, how far can Hunter stretch it out then?
Well, so the nearest we were told was about 28 laps was what they figured a tank would do. Hunter Ingrav is working circuit number 30. If he doesn't come this time, it would be 31 laps. Now, typically, you can save roughly 10 to 20% of a fuel run. If you are very, very cautious, that would put the maximum, I would figure, at 32 laps. But here comes Ingrav. He's going to come into the pit lane, and this is going to be a race to see not only what Hunter Ingrav does here, but also where he comes out in relationship to Alex Miller. Miller is on the black primary tires. So let's see. Does Ingrav go for the primaries, or does he go for another set of primaries? Or does he go for the alternates and turn up the wick, Ryan?
Up on the jacks. Down on reds.
So there's your answer. Hunter Ingrav is going to come back out on the alternates. Where is Alex Miller? Alex Miller is 3 seconds adrift of the Rogue Racing entry for Hunter Ingrav. Well done on the pit stop exchange for Ingrav. He gets out 3 seconds ahead, and he is on what is the preferred tire. Alex Miller is second. There's Miller some now 2.5 seconds back. Now he's going to close that down probably to about 1.5 seconds here would be my guess, Ryan. Before it's all said and done, we'll jump on board with him. So that's what the gap looks like from on board of Alex Miller. Hunter Ingrav weaving back and forth, Ryan, trying to get some heat in those reds. He's got a problem though, because he's got a lap car in front of him, and he caught him right at the worst possible time, and that's going to let Alex Miller chop nearly a second out of that lead. Ryan, I believe that was Andrew Surawak there.
One Surawak and off into the grass.
Yep. So Surawak goes off, keeps everything pointed in the right direction, but that was just a simple case of Alex Miller, or excuse me, Hunter Ingrav caught that at the wrong point and nearly allowed Alex Miller to make a lunge and get back in the lead, and that could have been disastrous for Ingrav because it would have negated the tire advantage, at least temporarily. The closest battle on the track now goes to Lith Fox in 6th, Craig Forsyth in 7th. They are the closest two cars in contact on the circuit. There you see Kyle Clinworth a little bit up the road in 5th. Chris Albrecht, after his spin, has fallen some 6.5 seconds, Ryan, behind this group.
Oh, Mixer goes around.
That would be the second time that Micah Mixer has spun that Votive Racing League machine. Here he is. He's headed down into turn 1, and is it going to be the curbs or the rear tires locking? I'm going to say that's just up the corner a little bit, Ryan.
Yeah, just went in there a bit too hot. The rear stepped down on him.
That's what I'm thinking. So Micah Mixer goes around, and he's still in third place. But I'm going to ask you this question: you're a veteran of these things. Those curbs at the chicane here, Herman Tilke would be proud of those curbs, Ryan. They are massive. Is that going to cause any damage to Mixer's car, particularly the floor?
Probably not at those speeds. If pretty much the faster you go, the more damage he'll do. But generally, if you just barely miss the corner like he did, it shouldn't do too much.
So there you have it. But that is a very real concern in these cars. Craig Forsyth has now gotten past Lith Fox, and so do want to point that out. That is Forsyth on the alternates, Fox on the primaries. Alternate runners right now: Ingrav, Paz, Forsyth, Brendan Domingue, Matthew Carroll, Nate Fields, and Gary Lovern are all on the red alternate tires. Do want to thank everybody for joining in tonight. We've got a pretty good crowd here to watch the Horizon IndyCar Series on P1. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can you get a message every time we go live. You can catch all of these, and we've got something going pretty much every night. Monday night, you've got the Indy Oval, the Indy Open top split. That's the top flight every week of the IndyCar Series. Road courses, ovals, speedways, street courses, you name it. We go to all of those in that series. That goes off at 7, and it's followed by the Indy Next Oval Series at 8:30. Tuesday nights, we've got a triple header going, Ryan. If you wanted to watch IndyCar races last night, you should have flipped on P1. Indy Oval Series 7:15. Indy Next Oval Series at 8:30. Area 51 at 9:30. Tonight we've got dueling streams. It's the Horizon IndyCar Series you're watching. The Formula Super Series is over on the sister stream. They go off at 8:20. Thursday and Friday we're going to welcome back the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series and AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Saturdays, Ryan, are you going to run some of those? We need to see the wreck in a race car. Are you going to run some of the iRacing IndyCar Series events?
Yeah, I'll be around for them. If they're the Saturdays I'm home, I'll be in.
So we're going to get to see the wreck in a race car. Hopefully not wrecking his race car, but we'll get to see Ryan in a race car on Saturdays. Those usually go off around 2 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock Eastern, and then Sundays you've got on alternating weeks the Dark Horse CW12 Series. Clinworth is around. Kyle Clinworth in the Festival Curves, I believe that's turn number 5, has gone around in his machine, and so we're going to see if we can't find that. Clindy is in the number 10 in this one, not in his familiar number 37. So here he is, and he's all alone, Ryan, and he is on warm primary tires. He's 8 laps into his current run. Is this going to be another one of those just got into hot situations? It most certainly is.
Yeah.
Round she goes. Clindy doesn't hit anything, but he's going to lose a couple of spots. Craig Forsyth and Lith Fox will go through on the Indy Oval, on the IndyCar Oval Series champion, and there goes Clindy. He still runs along in 7th, so not a whole lot lost. Lith Fox still within about half a second of Craig Forsyth. But Sunday night you can have your choice on alternating weeks. It's the Votive IndyCar Series and the Dark Horse DW12 Series. They both go at 8. The Classic IndyCar Series is back, Ryan. We had them at 3 o'clock last Sunday. So you want to watch a virtual IndyCar race? You've come to the right place here at P1 for sure. Cycling through some of the people we haven't talked about. Here's Brendan Statton. Brendan is in the 9th spot. He's kind of run along. He's on black tires. Brendan Statton started this race in the 11th position. He's currently 9th, so he's made up a couple. Behind him is the leader, Alex Miller. So Statton, is second place, Alex Miller. So Statton has already gone a lap down. Matt Wagner is 10th. He started 15th. So the series director, he's made up a few spots here. Matt Wagner currently runs 10th after starting 15th. Brandon Domingue is 11th after having started in the 9th spot. Luca Tedesco has had an eventful day so far, Ryan. But there he is. He runs along in 12th. Matt Carroll is 13th, and there he is after a 10th place start. Nate Fields is coming down the front stretch now. He runs along in 14th. He had some earlier contact. He's 2 laps down. Gary Lovern, 15th. He had a crash at the initial, in the opening laps. I believe it was lap 1. It was not at the chicane. I believe it was turn 5 that got him. He spun and was collected by Hugo Gallas. Andrew Surwack out of the race. Hugo Gallas continues to circulate. He will make up a position on Surwack in the next couple of laps. William Holman has retired his machine. Holman will be credited with 18th place, and that's kind of where the field stands, Ryan. What are you looking for here in the second half?
pretty much seeing who can improve, who can learn the track over the course of this race, find those tents to start closing gaps, and put themselves in a good position for that final pit stop.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I'm kind of looking at right now, and I know he's been around a couple of times. Is Micah Mixer? Micah Mixer was a half a second. He's been a half a second a lap quicker than Alex Miller the last couple of times through. The problem for Mixer in that Votive Racing League machine, and that is news that Micah Mixer has joined the Votive team. But look, he's hauling in Alex Miller half a second, 4/10 a lap. He's put himself in such a hole, though, Ryan. I don't know, even at that rate, if he's got time enough to catch Alex Miller, because he's something like, well, he's not something like, he's 12 seconds behind second place. Hey, Ryan, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, so we've been having some comms issues with Discord, and I decided to jump out and jump right back in. I was posing the question to you. Micah Mixer's about a half a second a lap quicker than Alex Miller, but he's put himself in a 12-second hole. It doesn't, even at that rate, even if he gets him at half a second a lap, he's not going to have time to pass him, is he?
Oh, unless he finds more time, he's going to run out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to extend the race so Micah Mixer can catch Alex Miller, but that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Lith Fox and Craig Forsyth continue to be the best battle on the racing surface. They've got Hugo Gallas in front of them. There is the tire differential. Forsyth on the alternates, Lith Fox on the primaries. Hugo Gallas gets out of the way, and I would assume Gary Lovern will more or less do the same here. But we're now 13, 14 laps into the run. Is this going to be a situation where Lith Fox can get himself back around Craig Forsyth? That's 40 Raceware leading Team Mirai on the circuit. Lith Fox trying to get around Craig Forsyth. Still watching the battle between Forsyth and Lith Fox. They continue to have this scrap. This is 5th and 6th. So Lith Fox trying to get himself into the top 5 here. We are working lap 44 of 68 here in the Horizon IndyCar Series. We're live from Portland here on P1. Do want to thank the series sponsors. 4D Racewear. If you are in the market for sim racing gloves, shoes, hats, apparel, anything you need to accessorize your sim game, check out 40racewear.com. I've got a pair of shoes, a pair of gloves myself. Jim Herrick makes good stuff. So go grab yourself some of that. Support member of the community as well. Jim Herrick does a lot for the IndyCar community here in iRacing. And then Taupe Soaps. If you go over there, you can get a soap that is made in the shape of Pato O'Ward. It's really a sculpture out of soap. And if you use the code Horizon, you get one free. You buy one, you get one free. That's taupesoaps.com. Promo code Horizon. We are watching, and Craig Forsyth has gone around. Craig Forsyth went around at turn 1 and 2. Here he is, and this is just, again, it's another case of getting on those binders a little bit too hard, Ryan. And that's going to let Lith Fox go around. He only loses one spot, but that's put him in the clutches of Kyle Clinworth, and he has got some angry rear tires. Look at that car step out on him as he brakes for turn 1.
Yeah, for a lot of these guys, for getting to the end of their second stint, they've already seen the fall from the first stint, and now either they understand what's underneath them, or they're feeling a bit too confident.
Well, and here's the thing: do you run this thing? Whoa! Kyle Clinworth drifts it through turn 12. That's going to be one to go back and watch. But do you run one full stint of? Watch Kyle Clinworth here. We're going to get on board with him. Watch his hands coming through turn 12 here. Watch this save, Ryan. Yeah. There's the hands from Kyle Clinworth. Saves that Dallara. Hold on, driver. Back up at the front, it is Hunter Ingrav. He continues to lead it. The question we were posing was, do you do one full stint on the primaries and then do two, like split the alternates in half? It is a two stopper. So do you split the alternates in half? Do you run two blacks and one really short reds, or do you run two long reds and one really short black stint, Ryan? If you can hear me.
I'd probably split the two alternates in half. Or if you're in Hunter's position, you want lap 30, you stop.
Yeah, and it's worth noting. It's
five or so.
Yeah, it's worth noting they can make it home from here, right? I mean,
Yep.
they can make this thing. They can make the distance. They do not need to go any further than this. If you were so inclined, Hunter Ingrav, he stayed out the longest, but he's working lap 18 of his current run.
Yeah, he can come in, make it to the end. I think it's just making sure that you don't leave yourself vulnerable in terms of tire life.
Most certainly so. Hunter Ingrav continues to lead it. The best battle on the track. Brandon Domingue had caught Brandon Staten, but now he's fallen back. Kyle Clinworth and Chris Albrecht are going to do battle one more time. These three cars, Forsyth, Clinworth, and Albrecht, have more or less been together for most of this race, Ryan.
Yeah, they can't be separated. They've had a pit cycle. They've come out essentially together. They just can't get a decisive advantage over the other.
They can't. We've got a car on the wall hard. That's Nate Fields clobbers the tire barrier at the exit of turn number 12. Nate Fields is going to bring it to the pit lane. His car is broken. Craig Forsyth dove for the pit lane ahead of that. But let's watch Nate Fields here. He's got Clinworth behind him, and he's going to overcook the apex, get out on the grass, and boom, right into the outside wall. And that is a helpless feeling for Nate Fields. We're going to ride on board with it. And watch this, Ryan. He's coming through 11, and watch what happens when he gets to turn 12. Just got a little bit shot. Go ahead.
Yeah, too fast on entry. The entry wasn't wide enough. As you notice, the cars around him use that use for the support series here.
Yeah, if you look at Chris Albrecht, he's got half his car over there. The entry, and Albrecht is going to come to pit lane, but the entry for Nate Fields was very, very shallow, and it was pretty hot. So the good news for Fields is he was right at pit entry anyway. He was right at pit entry anyway, so he gets to get himself down pit road, make his final stop, and really didn't hurt much. Gary Lovern has the meatball, and so we need to figure out what's happened to Gary Lovern here. Oh, here we go. So Lovern is out on red tires. That's Domingue in front of him. Domingue goes wide through turn 6 and then cuts back across, and Gary Lovern got launched off of Brandon Domingue, and he hit the wall on the outside of turn 8 a ton, Ryan.
Yeah, it's
And that's twice now, Gary Lovern. The first time, he lit the tires up on cold tires, spun around, and lit them up on cold tires, spun it around, and got collected. That time, he was just a victim of circumstance. Brandon Domingue coming back on the track, comes over, and Gary Lovern takes a tumble. It's worth noting that Hunter Ingrave is continuing to drive away. 29 of 52 laps led for Hunter Ingrave, and Alex Miller is now almost 10 seconds adrift of the driver of the 77. So we've got, Ryan, the race in DC. The other big news is there was a Schumacher on an oval in Miami today. Did you hear about that one?
Oh, I did hear about that one. I thought you were going to mention Prima.
Well, so Prima's an interesting case. So as I understand it, that team is looking for a buyer for their IndyCar team. Is that what am I? And it's just the IndyCar team that's for sale. It's none of the Formula stuff in Europe. It's just the IndyCar side, right?
Yeah, essentially just the IndyCar stuff, because they have their own separate base in Indiana. They across a variety of their operations, they don't have a lot of money right now, and when you're not getting leader circle money in IndyCar, it is a money pit.
It most certainly is. I would have to think, and this would be my opinion, but I would have to think that that one of the things Penske needs to do is say, look, if we're going to have a more healthy series, if you're going to take the leader circle money, you only get 2 cars, right? You can bring extra ones out for Indy. That's a time honored tradition, but if you're going to take the leader circle money, you get 2 cars, right? And we've seen business models. Chip Ganassi, for example, has run cars without leader circle money. Of course, Ganassi's business model dictates that if he's going to attract somebody with a budget, it's going to be big enough to cover the whole spend. Prima is not really in that position. Not only that, but as I understand it, they are paying both Callum Illett and Robert Schwartzman. Those drivers are not bringing sponsorship to that team.
Yeah, they are employees of the team. It is they treat it they treat IndyCar as it should be. It's a top flight series. You have professional drivers. You don't. This is not pay for play.
Yeah, and that's a team I would love to see succeed. Certainly, they've got speed. They won the pole at the Indy 500 last year. Speaking of speed, Hunter Ingrav has pulled his car into the pit lane. Alex Miller came and got a new set of alternates on the last lap. Hunter Ingrav has decided that he is going to cover Alex Miller, and so Ingrav pulls his car down the pit lane. The race is going to be here. Alex Miller is the focus of the picture, and he is hustling. That car goes off. He is in the grass at turn 11, coming to turn 12. That's Hugo Gallas goes off behind him. My goodness, Ryan, all sorts of action here, and all that means is Hunter Ingrav has gotten back onto the racing surface, and here's Ingrav. He's already out of the pit lane, down through turns 4, 5, and 6. The festival curves. Hunter Ingrav, with the off from Alex Miller, has actually extended his lead. It's now 16 seconds.
Yeah, and he's gonna close off his day with a set of reds.
You know, that seems to be the smart play. I think he waited to see exactly what Alex Miller was going to do on his lap stop and then said, all right, Alex Miller came in and bolted on a set of reds. I think I'll come get me some of those too. Little bit of monkey see, monkey do there, Ryan.
Yeah.
So Hunter Ingrav continues to lead it. The only battle for position on the track, they have lapped everybody up to Lith Fox and P5. For those of you at home wondering what the pace has been like, and Lith Fox is standing by to go a lap down. He's only about 5 seconds ahead of Hunter Ingrav. The only battle of note for position on the racetrack, the only two cars for position within a second of each other, Craig Forsyth and Kyle Clinworth, as they've been for most of the evening. Here we're on board out of the right eyeball of Craig Forsyth, a great shot, and we'll just kind of ride along with the Rapid Canadian for just a moment. These two can't get unhooked from each other. The problem for Clindy is going to be this. He's only got 55 seconds to push to pass left. Craig Forsyth is sitting on twice that. And so Clindy is going to have a problem with push to pass when it comes down time to talk turkey because Craig Forsyth has a lot more of it, Ryan.
Yeah, like the only way you could hopefully tilt the scales back in your favor is to simply put the pressure on without push to pass and hope Forsyth defends in kind with push to pass and try to bully him essentially into a position where he's weak.
Well, Clindy is using it as a power assist, right, coming off of the corners, but he's running out of it. He's only got 10 laps left, and when it gets down time to last 3 or 4, Hunter Ingrav sets the fastest lap of the race on lap 58, 59.637. There are only 3 drivers in the race, Ryan, that have been under a minute in race trim. Hunter Ingrav, Alex Miller, and Micah Mixer, you could have figured that. But Ingrav is 2 full tenths of a second quicker than Alex Miller at this point on fast lap pace. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, especially so late in the day.
Yeah, that's he's definitely pushing. He is definitely pushing. We'll get back and we're gonna get on the gearbox of Kyle Clinworth, and you can see what this battle looks like the other way around. There it is. There's a car that just went off right next to Craig Forsyth. I didn't catch who that was. Did I didn't
Matthew King.
Gotcha. Matthew Carroll. I saw it was a white car, but I couldn't quite make it out. I was on the gearbox of Kyle Clinworth. He continues to lead Craig Forsyth, and he's pulled out just a little bit of an advantage. Both of those cars are on alternates. Kyle Clinworth's tires are a couple of laps younger than Forsyth, but remember, Forsyth does have a massive push-to-pass advantage, and Clindy is going to get into traffic here pretty shortly. There are a couple of cars just ahead of him on the racing surface. Working lap 60 of 68 here. Hunter Ingrave has put a stamp on this race. There's Hunter. He is 16 seconds or more clear of his nearest pursuer, Alex Miller, who's a further 15 seconds ahead of Micah Mixer. Hunter Ingrave is within 10 seconds of Ricky Paz. You see the orange and light blue car of Ricky Paz there? That is fourth place, standing by to go one lap down. Hunter Ingrave has been dominant tonight here in the Horizon IndyCar Series race from Portland. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can be notified of all future iRacing action on the channel, and we've got a lot of it. There's a stream pretty much every night. Monday, the Indy Oval Top Split, the Indy Next Top Split. On Tuesday, the Indy Oval Top Split, the Indy Next Top Split Oval races, and the Area 51 Series. Those all happen. It's a big triple header. We get dueling streams tonight with the Horizon IndyCar Series and the Formula Super Series. Thursday and Friday, we're going to welcome back the Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series and the Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series from the AMA. Saturdays, beginning with the regular season, you'll have the iRacing IndyCar Series live on P1. And then Sundays, we've got the Classic IndyCar Series, the Dark Horse CW12 Series, and the Votive Racing League, all right here on P1. Make sure you give a visit to Jim Herrick at 40 Racewear for all of your sim racing apparel needs, gloves, hats, shoes. He's got you covered. 40racewear.com and Taupe Soaps. If you want to have something that is pretty cool and pretty unique, head to taupesoaps.com. Get yourself a sculpture of Pato O'Ward's face in a soap. Promo code Horizon. Get yourself buy one, get one free. That's taupesoaps.com. Hunter Ingrave continues to lead here. Lap 62 is about to be complete, and we are now at 6 laps to go. Ryan, I gotta ask, if you're Hunter Ingrave, what is your biggest fear here?
Lap traffic. 100% lap traffic.
It most certainly would. It's worth noting Kyle Clinworth has pulled away from Craig Forsyth, and he has pulled up on the back wing of Chris Albrecht. And Clinworth bidding for a sixth place finish here. Clinworth started this race in the 5th position, so he's lost a couple. He's been as low as 8th, started 5th. He's currently 7th. He's working on Albrecht for 6th. And again, as a guy that is traditionally known as more of an oval racer, a 6th place finish on a road course would be a huge fill up for his championship ambitions, wouldn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely, especially today with how, I don't want to say stacked, because yes, a lot of people are in the positions where they started, but it really makes every position gained worth more in the championship.
Yeah, it most certainly does. And look, this is I'm a big believer in saying this, Ryan, that championships are not won and lost at your best track. They're won and lost at your worst, right? An example of that was in my championship season in the Velocity Online Racing League, similar to this one, mostly ovals, a couple of road courses. I had a fifth place finish at Road Atlanta in one of these cars, and that pretty much stamped it, right? If you don't get a drop, the oval guys tend to treat the road course races as drops. That fifth place finish essentially sealed the deal because I was able to run very competitively on the ovals. A lot of the road course guys not competitive on the ovals, and so that was a huge fill up to my championship intentions in that series. The same goes for Kyle Clinworth here. A run into sixth or seventh is huge for him, especially since he knows he's figuring to be battling Craig Forsyth, Alex Miller, Micah Mixer. The closer he finishes to them, the less their advantage is coming out of this race at Portland.
And it's just a case of, you don't have a playoff system. The chase isn't going to bail you out. You
Nope.
have to be good every single week.
You do. You most certainly do need to be good every single week, and Clindy is going to have that opportunity upcoming in the Horizon IndyCar Series. We were talking about schedule. We should go ahead and let the fans know what they can expect next. We are going to be at Kentucky next week, February the 11th. For the Horizon IndyCar Series. We're off on the 18th, and then February 25th, we go to one of my favorite tracks, and I wish we went to this one more often, as Clindy, weaving back and forth on Albrecht, sends it way deep into the chicane. We're going to Motegi, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. If you love racing ovals, you probably love Motegi.
I love Twin Wing Motegi. It might be Motegi and Gateway are might be my two favorite tracks in this car. They are absolutely awesome. Then we're going to take a week off. Again, March 11th we'll be at Pocono. Week off, March 25th we'll be at Mossport, and I don't think I've ever seen these cars race at Mossport, so that'll be a first for me. April 1st we'll be at Chicagoland. April 15th, Homestead, Miami. April 29th, Auto Club, and we'll finish it off May the 6th at Texas, and May 20th with a 500-kilometer race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And that's your Horizon IndyCar Series schedule. So really only one other chance for the road course stars to shine, and that's going to be March 25th at Mossport. Everywhere else is an oval. And you've got an oval star working on a guy who's also known as an oval racer. That's Albrecht on Clinworth. Those two have been putting on a show. Clindy was playing the mind games going down a front straight a couple of laps ago, back and forth, but he's making every attempt he can to get by Chris Albrecht.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you got to use anything you can to try to hold on or try to get the position. You just got to throw the kitchen sink, especially when there are only a handful of laps to go.
Most certainly so. Hunter Ingrave has taken the white flag. We're going to stick with this battle because Hunter Ingrave owns a nearly 20-second lead over Alex Miller, and then it's another 20 seconds back to Micah Mixer. Everybody else is a lap down. Clinworth makes the pop one more time in the passing zone. He gets right up to the gearbox of Albrecht. He's going to try him going down into turn 4, Ryan.
I'd say hold on. Oh, no.
Clinworth off in the grass. Chris Albrecht made it wide. Clinworth got in too hot. Into the grass he goes, and that is going to hand the 6th spot to Chris Albrecht, and Clindy needs to get his wits back about him. He's still got to make it back around because Craig Forsyth is right there now. Forsyth locks his right front up, then his right rear, getting into turn 6.
Like, I was about to say just hold on, because Clindy had 5 seconds to push the pass left, while while the car ahead only was empty, was on zero.
We're going to come and get the checkered flag for Kyle Clinworth and Craig Forsyth. Hunter Ingrab and Alex Miller have already finished. There those two come through. We are still awaiting Micah Mixer. Brandon Domingue goes through. Micah Mixer and Matthew Carroll rather are the only two on the course. And I don't know, Ryan, if we're going to see them come through. Mixer goes through. Here's Matthew Carroll, and we now have everybody finished. So tonight from Portland, it is Hunter Ingrab with just about as dominant a performance as you can do. 21.6 seconds over Alex Miller in second. Micah Mixer finishes third, and he is the only other car on the lead lap. Ricky Paz and Lith Fox are going to round out your top five. In sixth, Chris Albrecht, Kyle Clinworth was seventh. Craig Forsyth, eighth. Brandon Statton, ninth. And Matt Wagner rounds out your top 10. In 11th, Brandon Domingue, Luca Tedesco finishes 12th. Matthew Carroll, 13th. Nate Fields, 14th. Hugo Gallas, Gary Lovern, Andrew Serwack, William Holman round out the runners. Shane Coker, of course, is race control. And Joseph Morales did not take the start. So that is your finishing order, and let's see if we can't find a driver or two to talk to, Ryan. We've got Hunter Ingrab, waiting on Micah Mixer and Alex Miller to pop in. Let's go ahead and talk to Hunter Ingrab. I don't want to keep him waiting. Hunter, you've got Murph and you've got the wreck Ryan Eric King in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
We're gonna do you first tonight. You were here. How's that? So you get the microphone first. Was it as easy as it looked?
No, not at all. I'm sweat from head to toe, and I had a window open the whole time. So no, it was stressful.
It was indeed. Talk to us about that opening stint. How much was being able to save those extra 3 or 4 laps over Miller and Mixer? How much did that play into your hands in the strategy in the later going?
Yeah, I was surprised that everybody started on reds around me, so I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna take my time. And once they passed me, I was just trying to kind of want to at least stay in 2-second range of them and everything, and it was starting to get a little out, so I kind of closed up. And once I could tell the reds were starting to go, I really just tried to save even harder and everything. And the goal was to pit and not fill the car all the way up. Tried to get the undercut that way because I knew it was gonna be really hard to pass and everything. And yeah, after the pit stop and everything, it was just kind of take care of the reds and everything to make sure there wasn't really a drastic cut off. And I think I did fairly well on that. I didn't really lose any time to Alex on the blacks at all. I kind of extended the gap, and then yeah, last stop it was just don't wreck, and didn't do that, and yeah, just making sure minding my P's and Q's and take my time.
There you go, Ryan. Do you have anything for tonight's winner?
Hunter, you mentioned minding your P's and Q's. How was navigating lap traffic out there? Because I know during one of the pit cycles, your trip through 1 and 2 got complicated by someone getting a bit loose on the egg. Yep, can you hear me?
We lost you there, Ryan, just for a little bit.
Oh, okay. So I mentioned Hunter. You mentioned minding your P's and Q's. What was it like trying to navigate around the lap traffic out there, especially because, you know, during one of the pit cycles, you had to maneuver your way around someone who uh, got a bit loose going through one.
Yeah, definitely very, very stressful for sure and everything. Yeah, no, like you said, it was kind of interesting. I came around and all of a sudden I saw the car and just had to be easy on the brakes because I had more brake bites to the rear, so I didn't want to spin it. It was just kind of be cautious. I knew that was gonna be the worry about the overcut was I was gonna come out right in the middle of the pack, and I was kind of surprised I got a little more in front than what I did. But yeah, like you said, it was just car spun and just lucky that they kind of stayed in the spot and they were very predictable to kind of go around. And yeah, I was kind of lucky after that. And yeah, then the rest, a lot of people were very nice to move over. The few that won the race was just know the spots to pass, know the spots not to pass, and everything like that. And yeah, it was kind of stressful for sure.
Well, there you go, Hunter.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much for stopping in. Congratulations on what has to go down as one of the more dominant victories here on P1 in our history. Tonight was we think about the 500th stream in the history of the channel. So, congratulations on winning one of our milestone races. You know the drill, my man. With the trophy goes the microphone. Shout them out if you got them.
Mom, dad, always first, obviously, for always supporting me and everything. You guys, for always in the booth. Every single one of the P1 broadcast people are always awesome. So shout out to every single one of you guys. You guys are always phenomenal. The admins and everything for putting this series together is it's a fun series for sure. And all my wonderful teammates at Rogue Racing and the Alliance people and everything. And yeah,
All right. Well, thank you so much, Hunter, for stopping in. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy, and we'll see you at the next one.
thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. That is Hunter Ingrav. We'll get him out, and in comes Micah Mixer. Micah Mixer might have had the most eventful day of anybody in the podium. I think you looped it at least twice. Do I have that right?
Like a few times.
But it was otherwise a pretty uneventful run. You guys were after that first stint. You guys were all more or less on an island. Um, you bring it home in third. Any thoughts of had you not had the spin early, you might have been able to challenge Alex or Hunter?
I think I might have been able to challenge Alex without a couple of those spins because I think he had one, which dropped him back a little bit. And then I had one right after, but yeah, I think I might have been able to challenge him at some point.
Ryan, what do you have for Micah this evening?
I'd ask, how was the tire strategy out there? Because people were trying to, stretch out their stints on the primes, make the reds matter when they needed them, but only use them briefly. What was your mindset heading into the race?
Well, I tested out the reds a little bit, and they felt like they would last longer than I expected. So I was like, first stint, we'll just go with them, see what happens. I think I was 30% on the left rear at the end of that stint, and I even pit 3 laps early, so they were not the optimal tire for me, at least. So I went back to the primes and then finished off with the reds. That way I wouldn't kill them too much.
Well, you managed to keep them alive. You kept ahead of everybody else. Just finishing on the lead lap today was an achievement, and you did that. Everybody from Ricky Paz on back was a lap down, so you accomplished the podium. You kept it in one piece. It wasn't uneventful, but it wasn't super eventful either, and you wind up on the podium. Always a good result. With the podium comes the floor. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. Microphone's yours, Micah.
Yeah, I want to thank Shane Coker and Votive because I just joined their team today, and this is my first race with them. So started off with the podium. Nice way to start your time with the team.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Well, Micah, thank you so much for dropping in. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy, and we'll see you at the next one.
All right, see you later.
Absolutely. That's Micah Mixer. I do not believe we're going to have Alex Miller join us in the booth for second place, but there is Alex, and we'll show him while we do the outro, Ryan. It was dominant at the front, but we still had some good racing throughout the field.
Yeah, like we talked about most of the race with Clindy, Forsyth in that front of the midfield within arm's reach for the entire race.
Yeah, it really was. Even though the front got spread out, you still had the battles between Albrecht, Clinworth, and Forsyth. Lith Fox was involved in several of those, and so there was still some interesting racing throughout the field. We do want to remind everybody there will be no Horizon IndyCar Series race. There will be Horizon IndyCar Series race next week, 8 p.m. right here on P1. We'll go from the Kentucky Speedway. It'll be off on February the 18th, and then the 25th, we head for Twin Ring Motegi. So February 11th at Kentucky, February 25th at Twin Ring Motegi, 8 o'clock right here on P1. We do want to thank all of the sponsors of the series, 40 Racewear and Topes Soaps. If you please visit them. Please support the people that support the sim racing community, because they are truly awesome people. We want to thank the fans for joining in. We had another nice audience here tonight. The drivers and their teams for participating and making this so much fun to watch and commentate. But we really want to thank the people that really and truly do make it possible. The military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs that drive the ambulance. And Ryan, we'd be remiss if we didn't thank the nurse that unloaded you when you got there. It's a dominant performance from Hunter Ingrab tonight at Portland. Alex Miller, Micah Mixer round out your podium. We will see you next week, 8 o'clock for Kentucky. Good night, everybody.
Strap in. Feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hair pulled low and blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I break, when I bang through the lane. 4D on my skin, when I lose, when I win, I'm alive in the light of the game I'm in. 4D, 4D, 4D. It's different. Yeah, that's winning. Stamped on the wheel like a crest. I don't just play, I live it. Every stitch says, get it from the couch.